Why, hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Everyday EDC. My name is Tyler, and today I have a review for you, a gold class review of the awesome intro Spyderco Sage 5 with the carbon fiber G10. Alright guys, so this is the Spyderco Sage 5. Let's give you guys a look. We'll get into some specs, some size comparisons, and we'll talk about the knife. We have this wire clip here. It is a compression lock with nested liners. Got some barrel spacers going on right there. And we have a forward finger choil, half choil, typical Spyderco fashion, with thumb ramp with some jimping on there. This is an S30V blade. And it has that typical leaf-shaped, full flat grind satin finish made in Taichung, Taiwan. Pretty cool little lanyard tube right there, too. It's not obtrusive. So let's get you guys some specs, get you guys some size comparisons, and then we will go into the full overview of this knife. So to start out with, this knife is coming in at 3.11 ounces, or, whoa, Amber's the color of her energy. That's a 311, I believe is the name of that band. So 3.11 ounces, pretty darn light. Ronnie's going to try to do this with me, so if you guys hear some background sounds, that's what he's doing. He's making sure the fire truck's here in case there's a fire. So this knife is coming in at 7 1/4 inches. The blade length is coming in right at about 3 1/4, but the cutting edge is coming in at about 2 3/4. Let's get you guys the blade stock thickness. Relatively thin, coming in at 115 thousandths. The behind the edge coming in right at about 16 thousandths, 15 thousandths. So it's going to be a very good slicer, very narrow blade stock to start off with, and then you start with that whole huge full flat grind that's coming down, super slicey blade. Thickness in your pocket's going to come in at 0.43, which is thinner than most knives. A lot of knives are coming in at about 0.5. Hey, Ronnie, what are you doing, bud? The overall height in your pocket's coming in at about 1.55, which is relatively tall, but not for a Spyderco. You know, you got your Spyderco Para 3 coming in at 1.66, and actually, let's just refresh our memories on there. The tallest point of the Spyderco Para 3 is coming in, I'm sorry, at a 1.61. And, you know, it's a little bit less tall than that, so it's going to work out kind of better for carry factor there. Speaking of your Para 3, here is your Para 3, and I just put away all my knives for comparisons today for some reason. And here is your Spyderco Para 2. This is your Para 3, Para 2 sandwich. The Sage 5 comes right in a little bit shorter, it appears, than the Spyderco Para 3. Quite a bit shorter, actually. It's a little bit smaller of a knife. And obviously much shorter than your Spyderco Para 2. I'm just grabbing some random knives here for size comparisons out of my box. Here is your Wee Malice and your Skinny Hinderer XM18 Sheep's Foot. Much smaller than both of these knives. And one last Spyderco. Here is your Spyderco Shaman. And let's give you guys a weird one. This is your Wee Roxy. So the Wee Roxy's coming in a little bit smaller, although same general idea as far as size goes. And obviously the Sage 5 is much, much shorter than your Spyderco Shaman. Get you guys a thickness check, just so you guys can see it. So I already did the thickness check. It's coming in about a 0.43, correct? Yep, 0.43. What is the thickness of your Para 3, which is pretty much its direct competitor within the same line? The Para 3 is coming in a little bit thicker at a 0.45. Like I said, it's going to carry a little bit better than your Para 3 in thickness, and it's going to carry a lot better for the wire clip that is ambidextrous. Now that we got those out of the way, let's move into the actual review. So this is an S30V blade, full flat grind, leaf shape style, super, super slicey. We have a half finger choil right here. Typical Spyderco fashion, works as an awesome finger choil with a little bit of a guard going on there so your finger doesn't slip. We have a gentle thumb ramp by comparison of your Para 3 and the very aggressive thumb ramp that we have going on there. Now, the one thing that I did notice about this is because of the aggressive rise, it actually makes a thicker point in the pinch point for the Para 3 versus the Sage 5. The Sage 5 kind of feels like a narrow pinch point up here when you're in the choked up position, and that's okay. I just don't, it feels a little bit too thin for me. When you're not choked up, you can still get a 4-finger grip and you can still see my pinky's almost fallen off, but not quite. It's relatively comfortable, but the choked up position I feel like is where you're going to use this at. These scales are there. It's like a G10 carbon fiber weave. I called it a laminate in the beginning. I don't think it's a laminate. I think it's a weave, but it actually kind of looks like a laminate. I would have to get my details on that right. But these are T8 screws, so we have T8, 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 which is really nice. It's minimal hardware, and they're all T8s, so that's a good thing. We have an ambidextrous wire pocket clip, so there's no reason to change out this pocket clip. It is by far and large one of the most functional, and I mean, when I was comparing it to the Para 3, which you guys will see a comparison video, I mean, that's where the Para 3 really suffers by comparison, because, I mean, just look at that pocket clip. That pocket clip is incredible. I love this small lanyard tube. It still allows for a full-size lanyard to go through there if you're one of those guys, but it's not really obnoxious as far as, once again, here's your Para 3, just this massive tube, right? It does have the compression lock, and I have found that through tweaking with this, I can get it to work and be very, very fidgety, but this is your Para 3. And I haven't tweaked this. I just got this in from the factory. Not from the factory, but this is brand new. So it doesn't have the fidget factor that the Para 3 does have, but it is still a compression lock and it still works. You just got to give it a little bit of wrist. The liners, which if I can find you guys a freaking light, give me a second. All right, sorry about that. We'll chop that out. But the liners, as you can see, are, let's see here if you guys can get a good, there you go. They got those milled out holes in there. Then there's a little bit of milling extra on the liner lock relief that is in there. It's like a little square box that's cut out. So that's cool. It does add to that 311 weight. So once again, I mean, you're getting a super lightweight knife, and this isn't even the lightweight version. I don't know what the lightweight weighs. But overall, in your pocket, this is a great companion. I've carried this on several occasions. I gave this away in my 1K viewers because I can't mod it like I can mod the Para 3 realistically. That's kind of what it came down to. But I'm giving it away because I liked it so much, but I didn't see myself carrying it. Somebody else could really, really use that more than I could. As I said, the liners are nested, so you don't have anything. I mean, it's everything attributes to this to being a super, super friendly carry. This thing is an amazing carry in your pocket, and I keep harping on that, but that's kind of what this is. This is one of those Spydercos that it doesn't take up your whole pocket like a PM2 or even a Para 3 for that matter. It's thinner than the Para 3, it's shorter, and it's great to carry. And then last but not least, we have these really nicely chamfered edges around here. This whole thing is just, this is the first time that I actually like this G10 carbon fiber from Spyderco. I had it on the Canis, didn't really like the Canis. I had it on the Smock. I did like the Smock, but I changed out the scales anyways, and it wasn't so much the scales that I didn't like as much as it was I just wanted to kind of modify it a little bit. But I mean, a lot of detail went into this as far as making sure everything for the guys that are going to critique it like myself, it checks the boxes, right? I mean, the fit and finish of this is great. The action is great. Well, good. The centering's good. You got T8s all around. The wire pocket clip here, ambidextrous with a small lanyard tube. These are nested liners that are milled out. I mean, Taichung, Taiwan, we know is probably the best, if not one of the best manufacturers of Spyderco. as far as fit and finish goes, and this is no exception. So what do I like about this knife? I love the size. As far as a carry goes, in your pocket, this thing carries absolutely phenomenally. You don't even really realize it's there. And yes, a bug out will carry better, but if you like Spyderco, maybe this is the bug out killer for Spyderco in this sense, right? It's lightweight, it fits in your pocket, but it does, I can't call it a bug out killer, but it's along those lines. I love the ambidextrous wire clip. I think that is one of those types of things that you never need to change out. I think that pocket clip is phenomenal. It may not look the best by comparison of, say, you know, like a MXG, you know, deep carry or something, but it doesn't matter. The function is there, and it doesn't create any hot spots. It's really nice. But what do I dislike? So I really don't have any dislikes. One, I guess, minor complaint would be the action. I can't get this thing to where it's fully drop shut, and I have been carrying it. So it's not a matter of break in. It's just anytime I tweak it, if I tweak it too much, it has blade play. If I tweak it, you know, not enough, well, if I tweak it not enough, it has blade play. If I tweak it too much, it goes off center. You know, it's just kind of one of those things. I cannot find the sweet spot on this, despite spending some time trying to do so. That doesn't mean that the action's bad. You guys can see that I can pretty much close it and open it, even though I'm failing right here. There you go. With a little bit of wrist. But we all do like and appreciate the snappiness of something like that. And then last, another little dislike, which I don't know if it's a knock on the knife, it's just part of the design, is this choke up point here just feels narrow to me. Now, if this was the first time that I had felt a knife with this choke up point, I think I would actually love it. But I started out with the Manix 2 as this choke up point. That was the first knife. Well, that Manix is really thick, and you have a lot more meat here to grab onto. Another good example of that, probably accentuated example, is the Spyderco Shaman. I mean, this feels really, really good. Now, I'm not saying this feels bad. It's just I feel like it missed the mark a little bit for me. For other people in their hands, it may not have that issue. I mean, for other people in your hands, you may not have that issue. It's just with my hands, I just feel like it's a little bit too big. Maybe it's the longer fingers. As far as wants, I really don't have any wants with this. I think this is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. I wish this was a little bit thicker, but I get that's part of the design. I wish the action was a little bit better, and short of that, there are more wants than dislikes. I mean, this thing is super functional, super slicey, and will definitely make a great addition or everyday carry style knife. Now the price for this particular model is coming in at $163. I don't know how much the lightweight models are coming in at. I think they're closer to $120, and with the lightweight, I think you get FRN scales. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure about the blade steel. I would hope it's still S30V. So you're basically paying $40 more, I think, just for those scales and the liners. But, you know, $160. Do I think it's a good price? Yeah. I think that $163 for this particular knife is pretty good. You have some competition within its own ranks, and I keep bringing this back out because this is a comparison with the Spyderco Para 3. Now, this is the S45 VN version, and this was coming in at $140 plus or minus. So, you know, it's not the most competitive of pricing, but it's not bad. I don't have any complaints against it. That is all I got for you guys today. This is the review of the Spyderco Sage 5. Very, very cool knife. I really think this is one of the better things that Spyderco has kicked out, and that's saying a lot because Spyderco kicks out a lot of really good knives. That's all I got for you guys today. My name is Tyler. This has been Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, guys. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. This is my Patreon. This is my Instagram, everydayedc_77. I'm going to do a special shout out to all the Patreons: John K, Sammy, Eggs and Ham, Jason M, Dogtooth, Kaiba, Mickey, Wolf, and Captain Steve. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great friggin' day.